guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to another episode of Under the Brim. I am Dr. Shanna Moody, and we are here to talk about the mindset and motivation of the athlete under the brim. We are here to get into all things competition, preparation, training, and performance, comparing the traditional sports athlete and the rodeo athlete, getting into what got them into their sport and what drives them to keep competing at the collegiate level. Really excited about this interview this morning because this is way outside my comfort zone. Out of all the sports and all the interviews and all the rodeo events, these are the two that I know the least about. So you guys are going to have to coach me along and correct me if I make any errors in my speech or say anything wrong. So please forgive me in advance. But let me introduce you to our athletes that we have here this morning. We have Sul Ross football player, linebacker Ronin Williams. And we have Sul Ross rodeo athlete, bull rider, and steer wrestler, right? Tristen Hutchings. So welcome, guys. So I gave just a brief introduction to you, but why don't you tell me a little bit more about you?
I'm from Monahans, Texas. Born and raised, so I'm about an hour and 30 from here. So it's not much of a change for me. But I have a brother, a sister. I have a daughter, actually. She's 5 months. And really not much going on crazy in my life. That's about it, I'd say.
Well, and what level in school are you?
I'm in my master's grad program right now.
Yeah, and what are you getting your master's in?
Sports admin.
Hold on 1 second, sorry. I want to make sure this is not covering up your face, Ronin. There we go.
Do you want me to start over?
You're going to ask about degree to start this.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so Ronin, tell me what degree you are earning right now.
I'm getting my sports admin degree.
Okay, master's.
Master's degree, yes.
Okay, and what are you hoping to do with that?
Hopefully own a gym, become an athletic director, anything I can do with it, really. Okay. It's just something I feel like it'll just help me in the essence of my first degree, my bachelor's. So.
And what was that in?
It was in kinesiology and human performance. Okay.
Which is the field I teach in. So I literally see you every day. You're a graduate assistant in our program, so I literally see you every day. And when you speak about owning a gym, you're like right in my wheelhouse. That is the thing I could talk about all day long. Yes. All right. Tristen, tell us a little bit about you.
I was raised in Blackfoot, Idaho. I live in Montague, Idaho now.
Okay.
I went 4 years to the high school finals, 2 years to the college finals. My first year I went to Odessa. I signed with CJ over there, and he ended up coming here. I did a year over there, didn't love it, but didn't hate it. Come over here, started succeeding a little bit more. Now I got one collegiate title, one reserve, and now I'm headed to the NFR this year, fifth in the world. So
congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah, continued progression is exciting, right?
Yep.
So you haven't had that crazy stagger. You've continued to progress. So what made you what do you think the difference? You said you didn't have great success your first year in college, and then you moved to Sul Ross and saw a little bit more success. What do you think was the difference?
Well, my senior year of high school, I tore my knee out, and I tore my PCL in 3 places, and I never went to a doctor. I kept getting on, and finally, after 3 or 4 months, it just quit bugging me.
Okay.
And then I ended up tearing it again, and that's when I knew I had actually tore it the first time when I got an MRI the second time. And then I healed up, did some physical therapy or whatever, moved schools, and then just put in a lot of hard work.
Okay. So lots of rehab, lots of time training it to make it feel better? Or
Not too much.
No?
I got on a month and a half after surgery.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's just kind of the cowboy thing.
Right, too.
But, it felt all right. It still feels... it still hurts right now.
Oh, gosh.
But I tweaked it again. I got kicked by a bucking horse 5 days ago. I had to get my leg all glued shut.
Are you super paranoid right now because you're in the middle of the collegiate season, you just finished the pro season and are waiting for the finals, so are you I want to walk around in bubble wrap so that nothing happens?
Well, kind of, but I'm super relieved right now. I've been on the road for 4 months. I have a Capri, which is a glider truck camper, and they rig them up pretty good. They're made for cowboys, and it's literally on my truck, and we drive around. We'll drive 8 hours a night, 12 hours a night, go to the next one. So as soon as you get off your bull, you're getting in the truck, driving, sleep at a truck stop. So I'm very relaxed right now. I've finally come back, and I mean, I'm not on the road. It's nice.
Yeah.
So.
How long do you get to stay in town?
Oh, I'll be in town until we go to 3 college rodeos, and I might go to a couple early season for next year pro rodeos. But other than that, I'm just trying to get my body feeling 100% again.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about the pro rodeo season is that the regular 22 season has already ended, and you have this weird gap of time before the finals of it, but they've already started the rodeos for the next season.
Yep.
And so it's this weird overlap of time, right? Does it feel strange as an athlete to try to be mentally, juggling both of those things, like keeping in mind what you still have left to do for the 22 season and already thinking ahead for what you have to do for the 23 season?
So for bull riding, it's a little bit different than all the other events. I think in every event that's not rough stocks, you only get 80 rodeos.
Okay.
So you can unofficial them or official them. So you can go to 150 rodeos, but you can only official 80, and they can only count towards the year-end standing. The bareback and saddle bronc get 100, but bull riders get 125. So you almost can go to any rodeo you want to all year. So yeah, it's stressful because you see people going right now, and you could be going to those. Like bareback riders and stuff, they can see people going and be like, oh, well, I got plenty of rodeos, and that's just 5 that they can't go to during the summer or whatever. So it's not as stressful for them, but for me, it's like just watching money disappear.
Yeah.
But I won like $60,000 in the last, 45 days.
Wow, you came on strong at the end of the 22
yeah.
season. Okay.
Yep.
So that kind of gives you that mental edge of like, okay, I know I've done it once. I know I can do it again.
Yeah.
For the coming season.
For sure. If you ride good, they'll pay you. It's just easier said than done.
Okay. I didn't realize that about the difference in the rodeo count for the different events. That's new.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Even people that are in rodeo all the time don't know that.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm the least familiar with the bull riding, so.
But they change that all the time. They'll change their counts and stuff. Just depends who's in the sport and who's heading their event, because it's all in individual event, how many rodeos they want to count and what rodeos they want to count.
Is it hard to keep up with the rules and stay on top of what's going on?
No, because your event director will let you know.
Okay. So, Ronin, from your perspective, I don't know how familiar are you with rodeo?
I mean, from where I'm from, it's something that I've been around a lot.
Okay.
I watched my friends ride bulls. It's something I want to do myself.
So this is bucket list?
Bucket list for sure. Something I've always wanted to do is get on a bull. But as far as the rules and everything, I don't really know much. But I know it's tough. I know that to do what they're doing is something that like not many people would even dare to do.
Right.
So like I have so much of respect for bull riders and the steer wrestlers and whatever else there is that they do, because like you could still, I say I want to ride a bull so much, you can still put me in front of one and I may just back out.
You might change your mind.
Yes, easily. But as familiar with it, like I like watching it, I like watching the movies about it. Yeah. I think it's just a cool deal, cool rush. I like the adrenaline it gets to it. Even by watching movies, like, what's that one movie? One of my favorites, the 8 Seconds movie. I watched that growing up, and yeah, it's just, that's all I am familiar-wise with it. So
it's cool to hear you say that, because most of my movie references go way over the college kids' heads because they're too old now, right? So I'm glad that you've at least seen that, and I'm sure you probably hear people talk about that all the time, being a bull rider. Do you hear people, Tristen, all the time that are like, I want to ride a bull, it's on my bucket list?
Either they do or they don't,
Are people always like, hey, can you hook me up? I want to ride one. Can you hook me up?
Most people are a lot more scared. They don't want to do it.
I figured a lot of people would say it, but not actually, like if you actually put them in the position, not actually do it, right?
Yeah, like people that are actually at the rodeos and watch someone get their head stepped on or something, back out pretty fast.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, I'd have to put on a helmet, all of that. Like, there's no way I feel like I would get out of there safely. You got to jump up, right? Like, as soon as you fall to the ground, just boom.
Yeah, for sure. We got bullfighters and stuff, but it's still your job at the end of the day to protect yourself. Most of the time, it's getting off safely.
Right.
And it seems hard to do, but when you get good at it, you just have to be patient. Once you make the 8-second whistle, hey, I need to wait for a good opportunity to get off, because most accidents either happen because you're not trying hard enough and you just bail and you end up in a bad position, or you're not patient on your get off.
Well, and also being aware of your surroundings so that when you do come off, that you know whether you should jump up, you know, kind of where the bull is, so you know what's happening in your surroundings, where the bullfighters are. So how aware are you, like we're kind of jumping way ahead, but how aware are you when you come off of a bull of where the bull is, where the bullfighters are, like should you stand up, should you run, should you stay on the ground for a second? Like how aware are you of what's going on?
So if he was to get on one, or if he was to get on 10, let's say he got on 10 in a row, he wouldn't remember any of them.
Wow.
Because you hold your breath most of the time and you black out.
Right.
Anyways, it's just another day for me kind of deal.
Right.
I'd get on one every single day all summer long. So you I guess, really learn your surroundings and stuff. You never know where your bullfighters are. You
Okay.
just hope they're in a good spot. You can't see them. The bulls are spinning. If you're lucky, you know kind of where the fence is and stuff. But you kind of grasp it real fast when you're getting off where your surroundings are and stuff. I mean, you might be getting smashed up against the fence. You know, you never know. But they teach everybody the same. Once you hit the ground, you crawl, and when you get done crawling, you can run. But you got to be moving somewhere. If not, you're gonna get crunched.
Yeah, my biology teacher used to tell us that every day in Africa, a cheetah wakes up and he better be running, and every day in Africa, a gazelle wakes up and he better be running, and you're either the gazelle getting chased or you're the cheetah chasing the gazelle, but every day you better be running, right? So that's interesting. So have you been riding bulls long enough that you feel like things sort of slow down for you? Like you said, he wouldn't remember probably because the first couple of times that he's done it, because things are moving so fast, he can't pay attention. He's probably holding his breath. He's got a lot of fear. So have you been riding long enough that you feel like it happens a little bit more in slow motion?
Yeah, and it just depends what bull you're getting on. Like, I mean, there's completely different calibers. Like, I got on a pretty nice bull at the college rodeo, and it was just nice practice. But then you get on one that's trying to yank your arm off, and, you know, it seems like it's taking forever to get to the whistle, you know, but sometimes it's like you're just having fun, enjoying yourself, and it's just, you're not thinking about time at all.
Yeah. So I want to come back to you, Ronin, because we were talking about him competing in the collegiate season and the pro rodeo season at the same time. So that isn't possible for an NCAA athlete. You are strictly competing in a college season, and you're not competing at any other level. There's no, like, can y'all even play intramural sports? Like, could you go play flag football for intramurals?
No. If we did that, we'd be in big trouble. I mean, I think it's something we could do as a team, but that just puts us in jeopardy for what we have going on right now. So
right, because if you get hurt playing intramurals, that your coach is not gonna stand for that, right?
Not at all. Yeah, we'll be in big trouble. I one time was playing basketball before season and rolled my ankle a few years ago and sprained it, and I was in big trouble. He cut all access to the rec gym off. Like, there was no way we were going back in there for a while. So
different coach than we have now.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. But can you imagine trying to compete at two different levels in the same season?
Oh, that's
wild. Think about the toll that your body is taking now and just what you're doing. So can you imagine what that would be like?
Nah, especially this year. The older I'm getting, I'm hurting after every game. I'm really tired of it. We got about 4 more games left, so I'm like telling myself, your body just got to go with it. 4 more games, like, you're gonna get through it. But at the end of the day, football, man, as long as I've been playing it, this year I've never hurt so bad. It's crazy. Like, my body is just going through it.
Do you think it's the age, the amount of time that you've been playing, or that you're competing against people who are hitting harder?
What I say is my attitude towards it now.
Oh, okay. So it's the mindset.
The mindset. I was playing the game. I'm a linebacker, so I obviously got to tackle. So it's kind of more of like, before I'd get in there, I'd make a tackle, but this year I kind of get in this mode where it's like, it's my last year. Like, after this, I'll never play the game of football again. So it's kind of like sacrifice. Like, I'm just throwing myself. Like, if I can get there, I'm going to get there. I'm going to do all I can to sacrifice my body for my teammates, you know, because I'm never going to get it again. So why live with the regret of not? And the fact of the matter is that I came here this last year. I probably wasn't even going to play this last year. I came back to really GA, and I'm just sitting here, and I knew I had my last year left, but
you had 1 year of eligibility.
Yes, 1 year, and I'm sitting here, and I'm just kind of like, what do I do? And then I was like, I couldn't coach them knowing I could play, so I allowed myself to really just, you know what, you're going to do it, but you better leave it all out there for your last time. So,
leave it all on the field for your last season. Okay. So you talked about your body and being old. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay.
I just turned 23 in August. Yes, August 14th. Just turned 23, so... I mean, I'm a young 23, I'd say, but everyone calls me old man. I walk around our field and everything, old man Rose, something. They say something funny about me being
I think
old.
it's the way you carry yourself, for sure.
Yeah.
How old are you, Tristen?
22, turned 23.
So how old do you feel in relation to your sport?
I'm not very old.
No.
No.
Okay. I was listening to another bull rider, another pro, talking about that he's 27 and he's old for the game. So what do you see as, Ronin was talking about this being his last season. Do you have kind of a number in mind of what your life expectancy in bull riding will be? Like an age?
I really don't think that's something that I can decide.
Okay. I didn't know if you had a goal.
No, I think the road decides that for you.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, if I was to get on tomorrow and broke both my legs, it'd probably take a little time off,
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do it as long as I can do it successfully.
Yeah.
And make a living doing it.
I just tease everybody because I have really good genetics in my family and I aspire to live past 100, and most people don't ever want to live that long. And my great grandmother was like fully self-sufficient past 100. She lived at home by herself and no home health care or anything like that. So that's why I believe that I can be that old. But then like I go to the gym and I'm like, oh God, the deadlift and my back hurts, I'm gonna die, so I was cracking up laughing at myself. I was like at the gym this morning doing the workout and I was like, my body hurts so bad just from doing a workout, and I'm about to go interview a bull rider and a lineman and a linebacker, and I'm like, I can't even imagine the toll that their body takes. And I know for sure that I am not cut out to do what they do, and that there's no way that my body could hold up to it. So I didn't know if you had kind of an age in mind or a goal in mind of what you were how long you wanted to do this, or like how hard you wanted to push yourselves.
Like, I mean, there's bull riders that make it to like 35, 37. There's actually a bull rider that's like 55 or something. But that's pretty unheard of.
So what is like the age, like the average age of a bull rider to keep going?
Like, I mean, if you had to average them all out in the PRCA right now, I'd say your average is probably, the people at the NFR this year is 24, 25.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm definitely old for the NIRA.
For the college association.
Definitely. Well, like, I mean, there's definitely people in master programs and stuff that are a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
But
So how many years have you been competing in? How many years of eligibility have you used at the collegiate level?
5.
5. Okay. So do you plan on in the collegiate level at college? You have at rodeo you have 6 years of eligibility. So will you stay for a 6th?
4.
No, you have 6.
4. You have 4. The only reason I got another year is because of COVID. And if I started a master's program, then I could get another year.
Okay.
But you have to start a master's.
Okay. Well, I was going to say I was looking at the rule book the other day for something else, and I thought that I had seen that.
Nope. It's just 4, and if you start a master program, they allow you 5, I think.
Okay.
But not 6.
Okay. I don't know where I got that from then.
Pretty sure.
Okay. So would you consider a 6th?
I mean, I don't want to. I barely came back this year. Like, I came back to finish what I started, to finish my degree, but that, like, I mean, I don't have anything else to accomplish, really.
Okay. So will you graduate this year?
I hope so.
Okay. What are you majoring in?
Agronomics, I think. I've had to switch my degree like 2 or 3 times to get all my classes online so that I could actually go rodeo on the road.
Yeah, that's got to be really challenging. So I was really thinking about that. How do you balance college rodeo, pro rodeo, the amount of travel that you have, and classes, coursework?
The rodeos are pretty easy. I mean, you can make a rodeo schedule pretty fast. Like they come out with a schedule of all the rodeos in the United States that are sanctioned with the PRCA, all on a list, how much money they had added, all the dates, and you can just write them all down, look at a map, kind of. Like, I mean, you don't even have to look at a map, but I've caught myself in a bind several times. You get in the truck and you're like, oh, shoot, 9 hours, man. And then you got to drive back the other direction 5 the next day. And if you'd have went here or there and then there, would have been a lot easier than going here or there and then coming way back, you know. So if you can save yourself a lot of money and time if you look at a map. But, I mean, I have a lot of help. My girlfriend always prints off all my syllabuses, and then we'll write down all my stuff that's due, when it's due, and stuff like that. So that sure helps. It's just like people that really know how to organize their time can really accomplish a lot more, you know.
Apparently those girlfriends come in clutch. One of the other GAs in our office, her boyfriend plays a collegiate sport as well, and she was talking about how she sits down and does a calendar of all of his due dates for his assignments to help keep him on track so that he can turn things in. And then I have a son who's a collegiate athlete, a rodeo athlete, and I do the same thing for him. And I had to teach him, like, hey, did you know that you can get on Blackboard and look at the calendar, and it actually shows you everything that's due and when it's due? Like, we have to sit down and talk about that. And time management, I think I heard that like 3 or 4 times yesterday from students about how bad they are at time management. But when you go to look at the things that employers are looking for when they go to hire someone, that's one of the number one things that they're looking for is time management. And when I interviewed the coaches, I interviewed CJ and Coach Canova, our volleyball and softball coach, and that's one of the things that they talk about. They're both really busy and talked about how important time management is for them and how important that is of what they're looking for when they recruit athletes. So both of you, Ronin, you're playing collegiate sport, you're a graduate assistant, you're taking online classes, and you have a baby. Tristen, you're competing at 2 different levels, and you're taking online classes. You're in a state that's not where you actually are from and live, so you have family far away. So how do you both balance it all, and how do you manage the time? And like, what are your priorities right now? Like, you're in season, you're in kind of a unique position of being mid-season for college, or early season for college, but in that unique position we talked about for the pro season. So what are you doing to balance time management, and what are your priorities right now?
I've been playing golf.
Keep your head clear. Yeah. Good for your body too. I mean,
I've just been trying to do some things I enjoy. I've been on the road for 4 or 5 months. I ain't got to do much of that stuff. We'll go play golf on the road and stuff, but it's not the same when you gotta like hurry up and go play or something. Sometimes we get lucky and we can. So there's the Extreme Bulls and the PRSA, but it's all sanctioned. All the money counts the same. Well, they'll put an Extreme Bulls on the day before the rodeo, so we can enter the Extreme Bulls and the rodeo, so we'll be in the same spot for 2 days, so we get to all... There's 40 bull riders, and we're all friends, so we all just get to go hang out together and kind of have fun, and that's the funnest part about rodeo, is when we get to go to a rodeo that's 2 or 3 days long, or an Extreme Bulls and a rodeo, because we're not driving. We get to hang out, drink beer, whatever you're going to do. Sit around a campfire, play golf. Some of the guys play video games a bunch. I'm not a video game player, but people got motorhomes. Like, the rigs that show up to the rodeos are $200,000 rigs.
Unreal.
And a lot of people don't make that much money rodeoing, but they have that good of sponsors, or they come from people that are from a lot of money. They just show up with these amazing rigs. They'll be playing video games, hanging out in there. But it's fun. That's when you get to, I guess, relax a little bit, have fun, smile, hang out. That's the fun part. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm really, all year I thought about, if I make the NFR, I'm gonna go down there and kick butt. I'm gonna have a workout schedule. I've been limping for like the last 2 weeks. Like, my leg hurts so bad, my knee hurts. I went and got scheduled for an MRI yesterday. Gosh. So just waiting for my leg to quit swelling up. Then I can get back to my work hard deal, because with me.
Hey, come forward just a little bit.
With me, the one thing that I guess I level with myself about is if I put in this amount of work and fail, I'm fine with it. That is me. If I go set all these goals and I accomplish every single one of them, and I go to the NFR and get my ass kicked, I'm fine with it. I did the work. And that helps me mentally, helps me a bunch physically, but bull riding's 90% mental. Mm-hmm. It's, if you think you should be there, or if you think you put in the work, you're fine. So I'm just waiting to feel good enough to start working out and achieving my goals, because you only have to put in 2 hours of hard work, or 1 hour, or whatever you want to do. Like, you can go golf, do whatever you want all day, as long as you go put in the work for 2 hours or whatever. Go earn that day. Mm-hmm. I'm a very hard work creates success kind of person. That's just, if I get my ass kicked, I do not work hard enough. That's what it boils down to. I do not make any excuses. I did not work hard enough.
It sounds like, for the young age that you are, that you've achieved a pretty healthy mindset. And I try not to use the word balanced too much, but it sounds like you have kind of found this, not balance, but like ebb and flow of, You know, like I work hard, but I'm also going to enjoy life, and I'm going to take the wins and I'm going to take the losses, and I'm going to own all of it. So that's really impressive for somebody, again, at your age. And I think that just lends itself to how you've been able to achieve the success that you have. So kudos on that. Like, I'm really blown away and impressed by that approach right now. That was really awesome. Where are you at, Ronin? How are you balancing it all right now?
I'm balancing it the best I can balance it, I'd say.
Maybe managing it is a better word.
Yeah. I mean, like I said with the season, like, I've never treated a football season like this. And
what was your approach in the past? Because you said, okay, this is my senior season. I'm going to lay it all on the line. I'm going to leave it all on the field. Well, I'm going to go as hard as I can go. So what was your approach in the past?
I mean, my approach, freshman year I came in and I was just trying to make my spot. I did that. And then, I don't know, just things going on around me in the outside world kind of just pulled me away from the game.
Okay.
And I never really, I'd lost my focus, and actually I lost the love for football. And that's when I quit, and I went to UTPB for a semester.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
And then I was trying to be a nurse. I thought that's what I wanted to do, blah, blah, blah. My mom wanted to be a nurse. And I was kind of trying to live through her, but I never found my purpose in things yet. And after that, I went through a lot. And I would talk about this, but I came back and I ended up going through a miscarriage. And then through that, I was at COVID year, 2020. And that was probably the worst year of my life, easily. And then my fall semester came, and I didn't come back to school. I just stayed home and worked. But through that time, I got well with my faith, and I realized a lot of things that I didn't know and I should have known. And I grew up going to church and all that, and I didn't know any of that. But once I finally took the time to get to know and have a relationship, that's where I started figuring out my purpose. And I had an opportunity to come back here or stay home and actually start my gym thing. I had people at Monahan's gym that were going to do all that for me and set me up with the way that I can be a trainer. But I prayed a lot about it, and I was like, there's people down here that I know, and there's more people I will get to know, and I want to leave this earth like impacting people. Like what I found, that's why I go so harder now in my football life, because I realize that we have gifts, and not all of us are blessed with the same gifts. Therefore, we should be able to, refine our gifts to the best of our abilities and be able to touch people, impact people through our gifts. And that's kind of why I came back here and decided to put to the side the whole money, the job thing, because I'm not a big man on like the awards and all that. Like I say, it all tarnishes. I love them. I mean, I've gotten them in my life, and obviously it gives you a good feeling. But 10 years from now, what am I gonna do with it? Like, I'm gonna be old and beat down, something's going on with me, and I'm just like, what really would make me happy is being able to grasp some people. Like, if I can somewhat plant a seed in your heart, and you can somewhat like find your way in faith. Not because of me. I don't ever take that credit. I just do my job. I plant the seed, and God does the rest. And through that, that's all I care for in this sense of where I'm at right now, especially being so older. So that's why even coming to this season, why I attacked it so hard is because I have improved much on the field, and I noticed that. So me talking wasn't going to do much. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to shut up this last season, and I'm going to just lead by example. And I feel like I've done that to the most part. And I feel and people can gravitate towards me and my leadership on that part of it. But that's pretty much how I've attacked it.
Okay, you said so much right there that I want to dive into. So number one, your actions are speaking this semester. So definitely it must be paying off, because this week it just came out that you are leading tackles for NCAA D3, all of D3, right, in the country.
Yes.
Pretty impressive.
Yes.
And when I asked you about it yesterday, it was sort of like, don't talk about it, Shanna. Like, don't even bring it up. And kind of that thing that you just said, like, I don't want to talk about it. I want to be about it, right? So let my actions speak. Don't let my words.
Yes, because technically I still haven't done anything. Like, I've been getting called All-American already. I'm like, I have none of that under my belt. Don't call me that until it happens. We got 4 more games left. And I'm like, I still am not done. Anything could happen. Like, even right now, I'm nursing an injury that could easily hold me out next week. Last game I played on a strained hamstring, and obviously adrenaline goes. You can do that during the moment, but after that, man, that pain you feel is it's awful all the time, and that's what I'm going through right now. So
y'all are in really similar situations. Both of you dealing with a little bit of pain. Both of you in your final collegiate season. Both of you like pushing through that adrenaline to get that moment.
Yes.
And trying to let your actions speak. So that's really interesting. You also mentioned that in there during one part of your collegiate season or your collegiate career that you kind of lost your love of the sport a little bit. Have you ever experienced that? No, there's never been a time.
I guess when I got hurt, I got on like 29 bulls in a row. I didn't ride a single one.
Oh, so wow.
It was tough to love the game then, but I was also hurt, so I knew I was hurt. It was stupid. The best thing I could have done was to heal up. I wasn't in a PRCA season. I didn't have any end-season stuff in mind. I should have just healed up. It was dumb, but I wanted to be on the road. I wanted to be with my friends. But, I mean, my freshman year, I got my butt kicked in Odessa. I come here, had to sit out 3 rodeos because of the transfer penalty. I went to Texas Tech. I won 2 saddles, 3 buckles, a horse trailer.
Oh, dang.
And
then, that's a fun rodeo, right? That one's coming up. So that's a fun rodeo. Are you looking forward to that one this year?
Yeah, I won the trailer again last year. So I've won like $20-something thousand worth of stuff out of that one rodeo. So it's a good rodeo. It's awesome to be able to compete for stuff like that. And no other region in the world has prizes and stuff like that, just at a normal 3-day rodeo, But I finally found success in that, and then I can't remember. That would have been 2018, 2019, the year of COVID, I think, right?
Yeah.
19, 20. Right?
Yeah. So then we went. I had only had 3 rodeos. We went to Odessa, and then I was 4th, and I take the top 3. Anyways, I was 4th after 3 rodeos but there were 6 rodeos, but I only got to go to 3. And so then we all went home. I went and calved some cows out, sat up there. My dad was still in Arizona, sat at his house because we had a guy working for us, but he was polygamous. Anyways, his dad didn't really like him working for us. Anyway, so he wasn't doing a very good job. Not that he wasn't he was a bad person, but he was like coming and feeding our cows like at 12 o'clock at night because he didn't want his dad knowing he was working for us because his dad didn't like it.
What a random situation.
Several wives. It's a little weird deal. But anyways, so I went up there all by myself. My mom lived like 2 hours away. My dad was, 12 hours away in Arizona. Went calve some cows out. Come back down here. I didn't win the trailer that year, but then I think that was the year I won the college title. So then I just kept stepping up, The last year I won the trailer again. I kind of had a crazy week, so I made it in the steer wrestling and the bull riding to the college finals. So I had to compete. You have to compete in 2 slacks and a perf in both events, basically. But the slack and the bull riding, one of them's like this matinee, kind of they dress it up as bulls, broncs, and breakaway or something. So I had to compete Sunday in the bull riding, and then Monday twice in the broncs or the bulls and the steer wrestling, and then Tuesday in the steer wrestling and the bulls, and then steer wrestling the next day. Well, then the next day after that, I actually had to fly to Reno. There was a 65,000 added extreme bulls, and so I got done competing, went home, slept for 2 hours, drove all the way to Denver, got on a plane, flew all the way there, got on. I made like 9,000 or something. It was like one of my early good successes for the year, I went straight back to the airport, flew back, got there at like 6 in the morning, drove all the way back, and I get back, go back to bed, wake up, compete in the bull riding again, and then I had to compete in the short round. I was still exhausted. I got jerked down in the short round, or I would have won another college title. But then I just let all the little successful steps just keep kind of building, I guess, and then also telling myself I need to keep earning it. And so I just kept stair-stepping. So it's hard to say that I couldn't fall out of love for the game, because I never, anytime that I would even plateau, I won just enough to be like, okay, it's still going, this stream's still there. And I mean, a lot of kids in the bull riding world, they succeed at 18, 19 years old. Well, I was kind of successful in high school, but then I kind of, went downhill a little bit. And then I kind of stair-stepped up. So now I'm where I'm making my first NFR. I mean, if you make the NFR at all, it's a good deal. But like, you watch the really, really successful people, they make it 18, when they're 18, 19, 20. Sage Kimsey hasn't missed one besides this year ever. He's a 7-time world champ. So I feel like I'm behind the game to be an all-time great. But do I still feel like I'm accomplishing a lot? Most definitely. I think about it as I showed kids that they can still go to school and have a good PRCA career. Because if I would have went to school my freshman year and rode the way I was doing, I would have lost all my money, went home, hated bull riding. But I would put myself in a group every single year that even if I did bad, someone expected me to practice the next Monday. Someone expected me to still work hard. And so it put me in a position that I couldn't fail. Mm-hmm. That's why because there's definitely people that ride good enough that they never need to go to college. But I don't see the reason not to. If someone's going to pay for you to go to school, all of it, you can get down to a 4-year degree, 2-year degree, so even an associate's degree. If you have something under your belt when you turn 30 or 29, you can't ride bulls anymore, and you can go weld or do something, open a fabrication shop, that's awesome. Like, I mean, you have everything to gain there. You have nothing to lose. And your coach is going to line up free practice bulls, give you a buck right, whatever you want to work on. He's going to give you the equipment you need to go provide for your dream and expect you to do it and be on your ass about it. There's nothing better. It's like there's nothing better than someone coaching you. When you fall down or slack a little bit, they're there picking you up.
I'm so excited to hear you say that, because my son and I have this debate all the time, because he's a calf roper and team roper, and I actually, even being a college professor, tried to persuade him not to go to college and to go straight to the PRCA, because he has zero interest in school. So I'm really excited to hear you say that, because I haven't heard it come from that perspective, and especially from the athlete's perspective, to say you have no reason not to go to school. There's no downside to it. So I'm really excited to hear you say that. So I appreciate that, because I think sometimes it's good to hear that counter side to what you believe and what you say. So I think now I'm hoping that whoever's listening, that you have that now. You have a little bit of both sides of, right, like listening to, should you go straight to the pros, or should you go college first, or can you do both? So I think that's an interesting thing, even with a traditional sports athlete as well, right? Like, you hear that a lot about college sports athletes. Most of them, you can't go straight from high school to the pros, unlike rodeo where you could, but a lot of them will leave before they finish their degree to try to go for the NFL draft or the NBA draft or whatever. So what is your perspective, Ronin, on that, about like athletes, and what Tristen just said about like there's no reason not to stay and finish your 4-year degree, and you actually did finish yours and stayed a little bit longer. So did you have that same mindset of, was it the football that kept you here, or was it the degree that kept you here, or a little bit of both?
I'd say it's the degree for sure, because where I'm from, Monahans, it's like it's either college or oil field, and I used to watch my my stepdad always come home, and he worked in the oil field, and man, he'd just be exhausted, and I tell myself no, like I don't want to put myself in that. So, like, yeah, that's why I decided, like, yeah, I'm going to go to college. But like I said, I came to college not knowing what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to work in the oil field. I knew I wasn't going to be anywhere but Monahans, Texas, if I did not go to college. So, I don't know. It's hard here, really, and any football player that's here can tell you this, is you don't get scholarship playing football here.
And that's unique about D3, because there's no athletic scholarships.
Yeah.
So even though our rodeo athletes are able to get scholarships because you're not NCAA, but you don't get like a bus to take you to your sport, and you don't get a lot of the things that our traditional sport athletes do.
Yeah.
So y'all don't have a chance to earn money, but you get everything else taken care of for you. But you don't have, athletics scholarships.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it is. It's kind of tough. Like, you sit here and you're like wondering, like, what am I doing? Like, one of my friends, he used to say, and this is funny, man. It always sticks with me. And he's like, we're at a practice, and he was like, if we really think about it, we're just some grown ass men in some pads. And I could not stop laughing because in reality, it's kind of true. But playing football, like, I played it because, like, truly, it's not my favorite sport. My favorite sport is basketball. I grew up loving that. Like, I understand.
So how come you're here playing football and not basketball?
Because look at me, 5'9". Like, I mean, I'm decent, but I'd have to be like some crazy point guard. I don't got a vertical.
But you're not linebacker sized either, right?
I'm not. I'm really not.
And here
He's
you are,
linebacker thick though.
Yes, definitely.
But here you are leading tackles for D3.
Yes, but all I say with that is, why I'm so good. I don't even like to say that. Like, why I'm so where I'm at now is experience and effort, and like you'd say, hard work. Like,
what is it they say? It's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog.
yes, like
You got the fight.
I've been an underdog. Like, Monaghan's, that's what I was. Like, I was even counted out then when certain aspects of it, and I love that. Like, you say I'm an underdog, please. Like,
Yeah, tell me.
I'll show you why I am better than what you say I am, and that's how I kind of take this mindset in this year, because I don't feel respected by the conference, and I thought that I should have gotten a lot of.
You hear that, conference?
I got a lot of, like, I feel like I should have got at least like a third team or second team in my past. And I don't know. I knew this last year, and last year it sucked because that's my plan. Last year I ended up dislocating my toe, second game of the year, and then I had some crazy stuff happen towards the end where I had to go get some surgery, and we won't speak about that. It's crazy though, but.
Okay, so what conference is Sul Ross in?
We are, what is it? ASC?
Okay, watch out. He's coming for you. Ronin Williams, coming for you.
Yes.
And what region is Sul Ross in for rodeo?
Southwest.
All right, watch out, people. We're coming for you. So you've both talked a little bit about injuries. So we talked about your size for being the position that you play. Do you play offense or defense?
Defense.
Okay. And then how do you compare size-wise? I mean, you were talking about his size. You got some muscle on you too.
I'm
so
too big.
how do you compare to most bull riders?
They're about 40 to 30 pounds lighter than me. So last year, Billy Ray did a little deal. I think Billy Ray.
Laxton, the athletic trainer? Or Jack the professor?
No. Definitely the athletic trainer.
Okay.
Yes.
He did this deal, compared all my muscles to my hurt knee to my good knee, my hurt shoulder, my good shoulder, blah, blah, blah. And I got on the scale, and it was, I don't even remember, but it was 83, 84 kilograms or something. And I said, hey, what is that? He's like, is it like 183, 185? I said, no, it's not. That is. That ain't me. Because I still look good. Like, I mean, I look good in the mirror, but I was like 15 pounds heavier than when I graduated. I lost 18 pounds or something in 3 weeks because I didn't want to be heavy.
Oh, after that happened, you were like...
Straight diet, gym, 3 weeks, 15 pounds.
Okay, so what does it take for you to lose 15 pounds? What do you have to do?
Right?
Like, what is eating right for you?
No more candy bars.
And then how much okay, listen, I see what you bring into the office every morning, Ronin. What does a diet look like for you?
It's changed. Like when I told you that 2020 year I found myself, that's when I chose to get deep in my diet. So like I got to a certain stature now where I just maintain, and I did that simply off of I'd eat my greens and my chicken, my rice.
All right, so you put a conscious effort into it.
Yes, but I never stressed myself. I felt like I used to stress myself with it, but I'd be like, I'd eat that, but I felt like me being so young, I also had the luxury of going to eat a burger as well.
Oh, I'm absolutely 100% a fan of the 80-20 rule. Like,
Right.
I will eat clean, but if I want to go eat a burger or I want to have a candy bar, I'm gonna have it. And I'm gonna have no guilt about it, right?
I had a man tell me in the gym, you don't need to diet so hard at your age. You're only like 19, 20. Like, he said, you need to just focus on always getting in the gym, being consistent with yourself, and get some greens in at least.
Yeah.
So I made sure to always get greens in. But now my diet is everywhere. I couldn't even lie to you. Like, and I find you really got to eat what you can. Like, especially me being with me, like, I don't
That's
know.
a little tricky for
It
sure.
It is. But if I can find greens anywhere, like if I go to the UC, I'm definitely going to eat the greens.
We won't even get into the relationship you have with the UC.
We're
not getting into that.
Not right now.
So what about sleep? Because you both talked about injuries. You're both playing, really, high intensity. You're competing at a high intensity level. Your body's taking on a lot. So what about sleep? How important is that for you, and how big of a priority is that for you?
It's important, but I don't do enough of it. I'd say I know it's very important, and I feel it more and more now. Why it's so much more important?
Like, do you try to give yourself a bedtime?
I do.
What's your bedtime right now?
I try to get in at least before or 11.
All right.
At least it's still tough. I struggle with that still.
What about you, Tristen?
It's definitely important. Just sometimes you can't do it.
Can't.
Like on the road, it's tough. We'll drive all night long. Wake up. We'll get to a matinee perfect 1 p.m. You don't even want to get on. You feel like crap. You got like the late night shakes. You stayed up all night. You drove all night. You drank 3 Red Bulls. You feel like crap. Oh well, I did all that for this moment. I better toughen up. It's tough sometimes.
Yeah, we talked about that with Laxton when he was on the show.
You definitely feel way better if you get good sleep, right?
Right.
Sometimes you just don't get the opportunity. Sometimes when you're sleeping on the bus, you wake up, your neck probably hurts.
Oh,
What I mean? You're like, shit, damn, this ain't still fun.
Yes,
it sucks.
Yeah, I love listening to the football players coming in on Monday morning into class. Like, oh my God, that bus ride was so hard on me, and I'm like, you're 18. Wait, just wait. I was doing first aid skills tests this week, and they can't even get down on the floor to kneel. They're like, oh my God, this is so hard. I'm like, just wait. You don't even know
And
yet.
I wish I felt like how they did. Like the freshmen, if I could go back to how I felt when I first was getting hit like this, man, that would be lovely.
Okay, well, that's what you said, and this is the part I'm the most excited, and we've talked so much, like, y'all are so interesting, I could keep talking to you all day, but what I was really excited to talk to you about is I want to know, I've never taken a big hit. I just talked about earlier about how clumsy I am, that I'm falling down and dying, right? So what does it feel like to take a big hit? So you're on the offensive line, you are straight up head-to-head against another huge guy. You know that y'all are about to just pound into each other. Tristen, you're up against a bull that outweighs you by 10 times, right? So what does that feel like? And knowing that you're probably going to get, oh my gosh, he's showing me a video right now. Oh my gosh, of him getting stepped on. So what does it feel like before you, like, in the moment when you're sitting in the chute, Tristen, and you know you're about to go, and you know that there's the potential of that happening?
No way.
And then,
I actually don't remember those.
and then, Ronin, you're on the line, and you're up against a guy, and you know that that's about to happen. So what's going through your mindset? Are you ever like, this is going to hurt, this is going to hurt, this is going to hurt? Or is it, I'm ready to attack this? Like, which way is your mind going at that point? Right,
You've got to be going forward. If your mind's not going forward and not ready to smack somebody in the mouth.
Yeah.
Have you ever,
you're just asking to get your butt kicked?
So have you ever had that day where you had that negative thing going in and it did turn out negative?
Yeah, just like I was talking about, if you don't try your hardest, a lot of times you're going to get in a bad position and get more hurt. So this is kind of off topic, but at the college finals, I fell off the first one. I usually drink a Red Bull. I get on the first one, shoot fights. I try and get on him for 10 minutes. Maybe it's probably only 5, but lay down, get up, lay down, get up. Well, then they sold the show, and I got one-on-one afterwards with a re-ride bronc and a re-ride bareback. And I was just like, I already went down off my pick-me-up. I just fell right off.
The Red Bull crashed.
Yeah, so I take pre-workout every time now. Like, I could kill somebody on the back of the chutes. Like, I just get that pumped up because I know. Well, there was a point I was taking too much pre-workout and it would get my anxiety really bad. Like, I would never get scared to get hurt, but I'd get scared to fail really bad. So instead, I was taking like a scoop and a half, 2 scoops, probably not something you're supposed to do,
Got it.
I got to the point where I was taking like half a scoop or 3/4 of a scoop because it'd get me awake, get me ready to do my job, but I wouldn't get scared to fail.
Just enough. Okay.
And so that's how I always get myself in the same mindset every time, no matter. Like, sometimes it doesn't help as much as if you slept, or if I drink a Red Bull in the morning, it sure doesn't help me as much. Like, it just to wake me up, focus me, and get me in the same mindset every time before I do what I can. And, like, he probably can't do that. He's going to cramp up if he takes pre-workout.
Because it isn't just one ride, one time. So what do you have a mental, like, pep talk that you're giving yourself? Do you have a phrase that you repeat to yourself? Like, what are you saying? Like, what's going through your mind?
Most of the time I just try and react and have fun. Sometimes if I'm struggling, I'll pace back and forth and I'd tell myself, cut his head off. Like, I mean, that's what I repeat to myself. Because, I mean, they're going to run you over, stomp you out. Okay. Like, I mean, they don't like you at all. Like, I mean, some bulls are nice, you know, but some bulls have a hate for you, you know. They're going to run you over.
Because they're athletes, too, and they know.
And they get just as wired up as you do. Mm-hmm. You know, they've been sitting around all day waiting for this moment. That's their job. If they'd be a cheeseburger if they weren't behind there. You know, that's the thing about, like, PETA and stuff. They're like, oh, we need to save these bulls or whatever, all these rodeo animals. They wouldn't be a part of this world without us. They wouldn't have made it half their lifespan or even a quarter. They'd be a cheeseburger by now.
Or they wouldn't be here at all, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, and the rodeo athletes get treated amazing. But they get just as wired as us, and so that's why I take pre-workout, because if I'm not mentally there, physically there, I can get seriously hurt.
What's going through your head, Ronin?
Before every game, it's weird because I'm very chill before, like, the week on. I'm focused, but when that Saturday comes, it's kind of like a different zone. But you have to, because if you're going in there, me, like, I'm a linebacker, so therefore I'm the guy that has to do the most tackling. Like, I'm in there for real. So
smash mouth football.
God, it's smash mouth every time. And if
Are you a big football fan?
I played in high school. I loved football. It's awesome. Mm-hmm. Ain't nothing better than hitting somebody.
Literally. And if you don't come in with that mindset, like, you'll catch yourself being tiptoey around a tackle, and it messes you up. You can't hesitate, and that's why I've been so decent this year. Is because I tell myself, once you commit to wanting to go tackle him, go. Just go. There's no second guessing, because that split second you second guess, he sees you, and these dudes are faster than me offensively. Well, these receivers, we just played a receiver from Hardin Simmons, did a little shimmy, and like 0.2 seconds was gone. And I'm just like, I can't compete with that speed. That ain't me. Shimmy. So I'm like, you commit, and you got to keep your mind in it. Like, just tell yourself. But like, what I do, literally, majority of my plays is I really meditate with myself. I do, and like I say, I'm a very spiritual guy. I keep my faith, so I talk to him. Like, I really say, like, be with me. I'm with you. Like, let's just do this. Because I notice when I don't do that, I hesitate. It's weird. If I've learned to really put my trust in what he's got going for me. Like, I'm here for a reason. Like, don't fold now. He's like, you put in the work to be put in this position. Now you got to do that part. He's like, I've given you the abilities for that, a gift for that. Now you do the rest.
No fear, no hesitation.
Yes.
You hesitate, it hurts a hell of a lot more.
Oh, yes, no doubt about it. I took a hit, TLU, and I hesitated. Just a simple hesitation. Stopped my feet, kept going a little bit. Boom, ran into one of my own teammates. And it actually ringed my head up bad, and I was on the ground. I didn't get out the game. They tried to take me out. I said no, but it was scary because it was blurry. It really got blurry to me. And
do you think you had a concussion?
No, I didn't.
Oh wait, sorry, we're not allowed to say that. We won't tell the trainers.
It just got me in a very weird state, but my head wasn't hurting or nothing. But it's crazy. Like you said, if you hesitate, you're gonna feel it more.
So how do you come back from that? So you just showed me a video. So you've watched yourself and like you've experienced it, and then you've watched it afterwards. So how do you convince yourself to get up and go back and do it again? You just talked about head ringing, all the things happening. How do you convince yourself to get up and go back and do it again?
Pays the bills.
So is it money that motivates you?
Yeah, like, I mean, it's a dream of making an NFR. So that was this year, and I don't know. I just want to make the yellow bucking shoots. Okay. And I did, you know. So I was on the outside bubble looking in all year, and finally, I mean, people get hurt, kids go to college, but if you stay on your bulls in August and September, they're going to pay you. Like, that's just what it kind of ends up being. And I just did a good job staying on my bulls and kept going. But, I mean, it's sometimes it's tough. The head injuries are the ones that are really, really tough, you know, because it kind of shakes you a little bit. Like, I mean, if you get knocked out twice, 2 days in a row, you probably shouldn't even be getting on, but right. Cowboys do it. Cowboys don't care.
Yeah, we talked about that with athletic trainers, that there's not the same tracking that there is in NCAA sports.
No, you are your own trainer, your own coach, your own sponsor, like you do everything yourself,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the PRCA. It's a little different in the collegiate deal, you know. But like I mean, you definitely got to be tough, and I guess just keep seeing your dream to keep wanting to do that, because there's been several instances or times like people get knocked out 2 times in a row and they'll jump off a fence and knock them out. Like I mean, they'll never get it to get on the bull again, you know. Like you got to be smart too. Like there's people that bull riders kill themselves all the time because they weren't smart. Like Ty Posabon, there's a whole Ty Posabon Foundation, really good bull rider out of Canada, shot himself because he just kept getting on with a concussion, and then it gives you, there's some syndrome.
CTE.
Yeah, he had it real bad. Anyway, sold all his cows, went through a terrible deal.
Yeah,
and
same
then
things
just
happen with
killed
some pro
himself.
football players.
Oh,
yeah.
It happens with all sports. You know,
Yes.
you keep playing with a head injury. So, like, I mean, there's a fine line between being cowboy, being smart, and sometimes the line gets blurry. But that's when it kind of comes down to you, like.
Well, and you hope you have good people around you too, right?
People can call you whatever they want, but sometimes you gotta be like, man, I got to take care of me, and that's understandable. You know, you're on the road all year long. If you need to take a week or 2, that's just fine.
What about you, Ronin? You said you just took a big hit at a recent game.
What helps me get up? Like,
Yeah, how do you get up and get back on the line again?
I just know that the guys need me. Like, I really get into that. Like, it's a sacrificial game to me. Like, I'm here, you're here. My favorite is Jade Rios. You know, that dude will sacrifice his whole life for me. I know he would, and he'll tell me that, and I watch him physically do it. Like, this dude's crazy, and just seeing him, he's right next to me on the field. Like, I can look at him and be like, I'm playing for you. I feel like when you have people you're playing for, it really motivates you to keep going. Like,
So it sounds like that dynamic is really important. You talked about your team, and then you talked about even just the bull riders getting together and really enjoying each other, and you liked it when y'all had a couple of rodeos back-to-back where y'all could stay and hang out. So it sounds like that's really cool. So I have 2 more things that I want to ask you because I know we got to get out of here. But have y'all ever heard about Ray Lewis? Do you know who Ray Lewis is?
Yes.
Famous football player, right?
52 cards. Have you ever heard of that?
52 cards?
yes, what a freaking, oh man.
What is
that
it?
Great.
His stepdad or whatever used to beat his mom. And
Yes.
He couldn't do nothing about it. He'd take 52 cards. He'd flip one, it'd say 9. He'd do 9 push-ups. He'd flip another one, it'd say 5. And that's what he did until he was 5.
All 52. It's like the jokers, like the
Jokers
aces.
are 50s or something.
Yes.
Aces
Okay.
are 20.
It's
That's
such
what he, okay.
It's a speech. You got
That
to
was
watch
how he
it.
coped. Okay, I'm going to look it up. Okay,
He did
and
it
then-
until he's big enough to kick his stepdad's ass.
that's awesome. I'm going to have to go look that up. Okay, and then you've heard of Bushwhacker.
Yep.
Okay, do you know who Bushwhacker is?
No, never heard of push.
He's just a. We're talking about the bull, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a world champion buck bull. Only got rode like, I don't know, once, I think. Yeah.
Why
just
what?
He was just that bad.
He's just bucked that hard.
Yeah.
What?
I never did the same thing twice, you know.
So
Just a
there-
legendary bull.
There was kind of this thing going around for a while, like who hit harder, Bushwhacker or Ray Lewis? Who do you think? Like, who's your money on?
Bushwhacker. What?
Well, they actually did a study. I was reading, so I kind of Googled it last night just to look. But so they said that Ray Lewis, they compared, like what's the thing called that the police like pound down the door with? Like whatever that big thing is.
Battery ram.
Yeah, like they battering ram. So they compared how hard a battering ram could hit a door and how hard Ray Lewis could hit a door. And Ray Lewis could hit the door twice as hard as the battering ram could. And that it was enough to like literally crush bones. And the only reason that he didn't crush bones was because of football pads, and that the football pads were able to absorb enough impact to protect the bones. Literally, if it wasn't for football pads, that he would be crushing people's bones. Right. So it just gave me such perspective about the sports that you compete in and how hard you're literally getting hit and how aggressive the competitors that you're facing are. So thinking about that, like knowing you could potentially ride a bull as challenging as Bushwhacker and you could go up against somebody as challenging as Ray Lewis, would you trade places with each other? Would you get on the line against Ray Lewis? Would you get in the chutes on Bushwhacker? Like, what would you do?
I say I would get in the bull, but that's Bushwhacker. Like, this dude's crazy apparently.
I would never let Ray Lewis smack me. That guy is ginormous.
I mean, but you're saying that, but you literally get in a chute with an animal that is 10 times your size.
Which is crazy.
But I've trained for the moment, And I played football, but I mean, just like he said, for basketball, or if he wanted a D1 scholarship, or if he wanted to play in the NFL, you've got to be 100% the right body type. That's the one thing that's, and I guess it's tough about bull riding too. If I was 20 more pounds, I couldn't ride bulls. Like, I mean, some dreams are just derived from how you are built and how God put you on this earth, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to take what you can, run with it. Would I get hit by Ray Lewis? No, he's twice my size. Would I go up against him? No. Like, that's crazy, you know? But I'm the size to go conquer my dreams, and he's the size to go conquer his dreams. So I think at a certain point you got to realize that, and that's what you're allowed to do, you know?
So you would ride Bushwhacker, though?
I definitely get on him. I don't know if I could succeed.
Right,
Would you knock Ray Lewis on his ass? Probably not, you know what I mean? Would you definitely try? You're damn right.
I would try, no doubt.
If you had the opportunity, would you go head-to-head with him?
Yes. Man, I'd talk about that forever. And if I somewhat succeed, he doesn't put me on my ass, man, I'm talking about that. I'm going to tell my kids, hey, I went
grandkids,
head-to-head. Yes, I went head-to-head with Ray Lewis, probably the best linebacker in pro football history. Like, that'd be something to talk about forever. That'd be fun.
All right. Well, you both have a lot left in your seasons, a lot to look forward to. What are you looking forward to the most? What's your mindset right now, where you're at in your collegiate seasons?
Me is to just finish. Like I said, this is it, and to soak it all in at that. Like, this is really all, unless some crazy stuff happens, like CFL ball or something, which I highly doubt I'd even do. But
are you even considering it at all? Arena League, anything?
I mean, it floats, but I have my daughter now. I kind of want to just get to her, and I want to do all that. So, but right now it's just finishing, like soaking it all in. I know it's a more emotional this year. Like, this is actually it. Like, no more football. So that's probably my biggest mindset, is finishing and making sure that I'm leaving on the right note with these guys that I'm with. So,
is there a challenge, a little battle in your head about like the stuff that we were talking about your tackle record right now versus your team record? Like, are you trying to like just block out all the talk about your personal record and focus on the team? Yeah,
because I mean, my first year here, we went 5-5, and after that, we weren't really winning anything. Like, I went 1-9, 2-8. Like, football here is not football. Like, I want to be part of some type of change, you know. And even if we went out now, we can be 6-4, and that's something that I really trying to focus on. Like, I feel like the tackles will come with it. Like, I have to get out there and tackle regardless, like, or I'm not doing my job. Don't play me. So, yeah, I feel like me focusing and shooting more for the record, the win records, everything else will come with it. So
they run hand in hand for sure.
Yes,
man. You go out and get the tackles, you win the games.
You're right.
What about you? You're in your collegiate season, but you're also in your pro season. So how are you balancing that, like trying to keep your mindset straight about what's that and where you at with those two?
It'd be really tough for me to say that I'm not thinking all about the NFR, but like, I mean, I definitely have my 3 college rodeos, but the deal with those, like, I really enjoy going to college rodeos. A lot of the kids that are there I've rodeoed with for like 2 years, 3 years, kids from Idaho that I grew up with. So the best thing for me to do is go enjoy myself and have fun, and I usually win a lot more when I'm having fun. I mean, there was definitely a period in my life where I could win at the college level, but I couldn't win at the pro level because I was confident, had fun, and a smile on my face at the college level. And until I finally got to the people at the pro level, got there with a smile on my face and enjoyed, wasn't tiptoeing around or walking on eggshells because these guys are the best in the world or whatever. When I get comfortable and realized I could ride with them, I did a lot better. So I'm just going to go have fun, and I mean, the cards will always fall where they want to.
All right. Any quote that you live by or best piece of advice that you've ever been given for your sport?
Work hard.
Is that what CJ tells you? No.
Respect is earned, not given. I love that one. Okay. That one sticks with me even now with what I got going on. So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I've been asking everybody, do you love to win more or do you hate to lose more?
Hate to lose more.
Like, I mean, falling off. So, if you, I don't know, in his sport, there's 40 guys on each sideline. On mine, there's 40 guys, but there's one winner.
Right.
There's not 40 winners and 40 losers. So, I mean, it sucks to lose, but definitely the wins are definitely a lot more memorable, you know, and are fun. But I don't like to lose either. But if I go do my job and I end up second or third, or sometimes you just don't have the bull power, I don't consider that a loss, I guess. So yeah, I hate getting bucked off for sure. But if I go ride my bull and take care of my job, I'm not going to be too mad. If you go lose a game, but I mean you have the best game of your career, you're going to be, oh shoot, we lost. But at the end of the day, you'll be like, I played and did the best I could.
Right.
You know. So
Definitely.
I mean, it's the question's not black or white to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I definitely don't like getting bucked off. But if I do my job, I can sleep well that night. You know.
Awesome. Well, I have so many more questions that I could ask you, but I want to be mindful of everybody's time, and I'm so excited about being able to get down and sit down and be able to get here and sit down and pick your brain. So thank you so much for the time that you did give and the answers that you gave. This was a really fascinating conversation. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Yes.